Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Nava Bharat Ventures Limited Q1FY22 earnings conference call hosted by DAM Capital Advisors Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Mohit Kumar from DAM Capital. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Niro. On behalf of DAM Capital, we welcome you to the Q1FY22 earnings call for Nava Bharat Ventures. From the management side, we have Mr. Ashwin Devaneni, the chairman, Mr. Sultan Bag, CFO, Mr. G.R.K. Prasad, Executive Director, Mr. V.S.N. Raju, the Company Secretary, and Mr. Nikhil Devaneni, Vice President, Commercial. Without much ado, I hand over the floor to Mr. Ashwin for his opening remarks, following which we'll have the Q&A session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mohit. This is Ashwin Devaneni, the Chief Executive Officer of Nava Bharat. A very good morning to everyone and a very warm welcome to all the participants. The statement of the financial results, both on standalone and consolidated basis, and a press release detailing the operations of the Nava Bharat Ventures Group for the quarter ended June 30th, 2021 have already been filed with the stock exchanges and posted on your website. I hope you've had a look at them and trust they provide adequate information on our performance for the first quarter FY 2022. Given the above, we would like to now proceed with the question and answer session and request you all to seek clarifications as you may desire. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The first question is from the line of Dharmesh from QG. Please go ahead.
Yes, my friend, a very good morning. And I am really very happy to be a shareholder for the Nava Bharat Ventures Limited. I am watching this company since 2002 and I am calling from Qatar at present. And in Qatar, we have around 10 or 15 investors who invested more than 3.5 crores in Nava Bharat Ventures since 2017. The thing is, I would like to know from the board of the director that Nifty made new high, small cap index made new high, and we know that current valuation of the company is really very low, and we expect a very high stock price valuation. But we are not really understanding why the market is not preferring to buy stock of Nava Bharat Ventures.
Yeah, Mr. Dharmesh, thank you for your continued support. In terms of our valuation and stock price, unfortunately, we as management cannot speculate or discuss. I think we have been reporting profit quarter after quarter, and all our operations are fairly healthy. So as management, we're doing our best to increase shareholder value and make sure that operations are sustainable and we have significant growth potential for the future. But in terms of stock price and valuation, unfortunately, we can't speculate or discuss in this forum.
Hello? Hello, can I continue? Yeah. Sir, that is okay. I understand because I am also since market 1997 I am in the market, so I know that the board of directors are not involved. But the thing is, when the company is asking buyback offer at 100 rupees, it means company itself is assuming the price lower. For this, can you please give some clarification?
Sorry, I mean, what exactly is the question?
The question is, the buyback offer from the company was at 100 rupees, and no doubt that time stock price was 70 or 75. But the thing is, 100 rupees also is very low price. So the company should expect price more. Because company know the valuations, the earnings, everything.
Yeah, no, I think the buyback ceiling price was essentially a board decision after much deliberation. We took into account where the stock was at the time we made the decision, and we thought the ceiling that we had attached to the buyback was appropriate.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. We'll continue investing in stock market. Today also we have purchased NB Ventures during this fall. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and one to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Harsh M. from DAM Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, sir. My question is regarding what is the status of the Mamba tariff negotiations, and is the plant fully operational currently?
Yeah, so I think I'll answer the second question first. Both the units are fully operational currently. Unfortunately, one of the units was down for an extended period because of major overhaul and certain issues or damages we had noticed with the turbine diaphragms, but that has been resolved, rectified, and currently both the units are operating at full capacity at Mamba. With respect to the tariff negotiations, that is taking a little longer than expected owing to the elections that are actually coming up next week on the 12th of August. So because of that, I think everything else has taken a back seat. But we expect things to pick up, once the elections are done and during the later part of this year with respect to the tariff negotiations.
Right, sir. And in terms of the debt restructuring, is there any progress or an update that you can give us?
Well, the lenders are engaged in terms of they are favorable towards debt restructuring, but all that is dependent on essentially the tariff negotiations, because if we are to restructure debt and agree on a debt restructuring proposal, it will be very dependent on what revenues we would be recognizing on a monthly basis in the future. And that is directly linked to the tariff negotiations. So I think once we progress further on the tariff negotiation, the future tariff negotiation matter, I think we'll parallelly start progressing on the debt restructuring too. But that being said, the lenders are committed towards a workable solution.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. I'll get back in with you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Participants, you may press star and one to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Samir, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thanks for giving me opportunity. I have two questions. What went incorrect in current quarter as compared to last year's same quarter? And second thing, with respect to Zambian electricity, are we receiving at least variable cost from the power purchaser, who is just paying us 60% of our total billing? Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get your first question. Could you repeat the first part of the question?
The first part of question is, what went wrong in this quarter, first quarter of current year, as compared to first quarter of last year, or maybe Q4 of last year, because of which there is a decrease in profitability?
I presume you're talking on the consolidated basis.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I think nothing went wrong. I think the major reason for the decrease in terms of both revenue and profitability is the fact that one of the units at Mamba Collieries, has been down for major overhaul, and this major overhaul was supposed to take 60 days, but unfortunately when we opened up the turbine, we found about 6 diaphragms and the diaphragm casing damaged beyond repair. That led us to essentially order parts, which had a fairly long lead time. So after the fixing was done, the parts had arrived and so on, we were only able to recommission the unit on the 29th of July. So for the entire quarter, we had only one unit at Mamba Collieries running. And the cause of the second unit not running was basically a loss of recognizing revenue to the extent of about $45 million. So that was one of the main reasons why your consolidated numbers are comparably lower compared to the last quarter or the year before.
Okay. And what about ferroalloys and silica manganese?
Yeah, so I'd like to ask our Senior Vice President to talk about that.
Mr. Sameer, thank you for your question. I think ferroalloys, there were 2 counts for the reasons why the total realizations for this quarter are less than the preceding quarter. One was in terms of production volumes, we had taken a planned shutdown for one of our large furnaces for 15 days. Unfortunately, the shutdown was prolonged due to the second wave of COVID, where there was an acute shortage of industrial oxygen, which we required for restarting activities. So this put together, we lost almost 3,000 tons of volume, which we had in the last quarter. The second reason is in the last quarter, we had a large opening inventory of almost 10,000 tons, which we were able to liquidate. So that's the reason for a higher realization in the previous quarter compared to this quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think you had a question on the if we are recovering the variable cost.
Yes,
So in
correct.
terms of that, we are. I mean, on a monthly basis, like you rightly said, we today, if you look at our cumulative billing, it's actually exceeded $1 billion from the time we've commissioned. We have realized about close to 60% of that. So on a monthly basis, we're getting about $8 to $9.5 million every month. That is enough to cover our variable cost, and we've also been servicing interest with the lenders.
Okay, so basically we are entirely covering variable cost and part of fixed cost, or entire fixed cost.
We're covering the fixed and the variable in its entirety, but the only shortfall is to essentially service the loan and in terms of equity return.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Dharmesh from QG. Please go ahead.
Yes, dear sir, I have checked the balance sheet. In 2014, we have fixed asset of 2,000 crore, and now we have around 6,000 crore. Because of we have increased we have done the work in progress. Means company was establishing some new plants, but according to that, the sales is not we see increase too much. Before also 1,700, now 2,500. So the sales growth is not in respect to the manufacturing capacity increase. So is our understanding is wrong, or I'm not getting what is happening actually?
You see, I think the differential was on account of capitalization in Zambia.
where roughly about we had a capitalization of about $700 million. That was done in 2015 or 15-16 financial year.
Yeah, I mean to say that we have increased the manufacturing facility, but the numbers of sales is not in respect to the manufacturing capacity increase. So our understanding is, the simple multiplication, 2,000 to become 6,000. So sales should be triple or at least double, but it is not observed.
You see, the Mamba power plant got commissioned in 2016, and we started recognizing the revenues on commercial basis in the last quarter of that year, that is 15-16. And as far as your point of sales are purely related to the power sales there. Those were being captured on a quarter-on-quarter basis since then, on a consolidated number.
Okay, if I simplify my question, when the company will reach the sales target of around 4,000 crore, approximately?
Well, see, we probably are talking about almost optimal performance, both in terms of subsidiary, which is in Zambia, and in India, excepting for this slight aberration of plant being down for maintenance and all. So if you look at on a normative basis, the Mamba company will turn out revenue of about $200 million, $200 to $210 million, while the Indian companies will make about 1,500 crores. That's how it is.
Okay. So we may see maybe in 2023, we may see 4,000 crore consolidated sales.
We were doing, but this year has been an aberration. But next year, yes, 2023 financial year should be again optimal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Harish Shah from HS Investments. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for taking my question. I basically have two questions. We have seen good performance from the standalone entity, and in the press release note, we have mentioned that the domestic power and coal business have been performing well. So, can you share the guidance for the year, particularly FY22, and what would be the trajectory in the coming years? That is my first question. And the second question is, what is the challenges on the production side phase in Tata Steel deal, and how does this impact our margin? Do we have a compensated incremental cost? So these are my two questions.
Actually, we don't speak out guidance, but I want my colleague to dwell on what's the current scenario in the ferroalloy side, especially the manganese alloy, and also on the chrome side, where that provisional charge occurred.
Okay. Thank you for your question, Mr. Harisha. The silico-manganese vertical as such continues to be buoyant, mainly driven by strong demand from steel sector. This trend, we see that it's going to continue for the rest of the year, at least particularly until the end of the year and up until Q4. Reason being, most ferroalloy producers along with us have an order book which is almost full up until the beginning of Q4. So we don't see any major corrections in terms of silico-manganese prices going forward. I think to answer your second question regarding the ferrochrome operations, this particular quarter, yes, we did face some operational challenges wherein we had made a provision for 6.25 crores. Major reason being Tatas have been now supplying ore from 3 different mines, unlike earlier where it was from a single source. So this had caused a little bit of operational challenge in terms of the blend that we feed into our furnace. But that being said, I'm happy to report that this issue is behind us and our production team has sorted out the problem.
So in that case, like my basic, I was wanting to know is how does it impact the margins going forward?
Going forward, from the silicomanganese side, we can expect increase in margins owing to higher market prices. From ferrochrome point of view, where we have a conversion agreement with Tata's, this is more or less a fixed contract for the next 5 years. So we don't foresee any major variations in terms of cost or in terms of margins.
Thank you. If I have any other questions, I'll be back in the queue. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask the question. The next question is from the line of Ajay Jain, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking my question. First question is, what is the status of arbitration, which of course must be ongoing? The second part of the same question is, suppose we do win the arbitration case in total, where is the money with the Zambian government to pay you? Because I believe they had defaulted on some loans way back in 2020 November.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ajay Jain, in terms of arbitration, the process is ongoing. The hearing is actually scheduled for mid-September. So we are hoping that we should hopefully get a verdict before the end of this year. In terms of the situation with the Zambian government and the verdict and how we would enforce it, I don't want to comment at this stage because the matter is currently ongoing arbitration.
But what is your assessment about the recoverability of the amount if even you win the arbitration? That's my question.
Agreed. But, sir, since the matter is currently under arbitration, I don't want to probably discuss that matter on a public forum.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Hanish, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you. This is Hanish. My question is regarding the other comprehensive income. Can you help us? What is this 2,900 lakhs?
Thank you, Mr. Hanish, for your question. Are you comparing the previous quarter's other comprehensive other income with the current quarter's income?
Exactly.
In the previous quarter, Mr. Hanish, we had an MTM gain of 49 crores, which we recognized in the books. And it is not there in the current year, in the current quarter. So that is the difference, significantly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Harish Shah from HS Investments. Please go ahead. Harish Shah, may I request you to unmute your line from your side and go ahead with your question, please?
Yeah. Thanks for taking my questions once again. So I have just one follow-up question. What is the current status of divestment of our non-core assets? And by when can we expect the stockpile of sugar and ethanol to clear out?
In terms of sugar, the process is on. We expect the residual stock of sugar to get cleared in this quarter, that is running quarter. And in respect of sugar equipment, which is up for sale also, we have been doing on an equipment-based sale for the last few months. We expect that process to gain momentum and get closed maybe in the next 6 months or so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of K.K. Maheshwari from CIL Securities Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah. In the notes to the accounts, there is a mention at point number 5, MCL is in breach of his existing loan, which are secured exclusively and only by the underlying assets of MCL. Is this a note which has been coming from previously, or is it a new note? And if there has been a breach, from when has there been a breach in repayment loan?
Well, this is not a new occurrence. It's been coming up. The breach occurred for the last 2 years. Roughly about 3 installments got unpaid, 6 monthly installments, and the matter has actually reached the point of arbitration because of this payment default. And the point that we were trying to make here is, notwithstanding these payment defaults, the standalone financials are not impacted because there is no recourse of the Zambian company debt to the parent company. That is completely secured on the basis of the project assets and whatever suite of agreements that the Zambian company had with the off-taker as well as with the government.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dharmesh from QG. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. At which year we can expect that the Nava Bharat Venture will be debt-free with all the problems solving?
You see, Nava Bharat has a very thin debt, very thinly levered. As a standalone company, it has a total debt of about 200 crores as of 30th June, including working capital debt of about 70 crores. So this 130 crores debt that what we are talking about will get paid in the next couple of years, 2.5 years, in fact. So that's a very small debt relative to our size of operation. Whatever debt that is being reflected as a balance is in the Zambian company.
Yes. So ultimately, together with all, can we expect around 2024 the company can be debt free?
On a Concall basis?
Yes.
No, let's talk about standalone, because standalone debt and standalone companies matters are completely independent of the Zambian company. Yes, by 2024, the standalone company will become debt free.
Okay. But Zambian will be not confirmed.
Yeah, Zambian company's debt is about 413 million at this point. So we expect that to last till about 2029. But that has no impact on the standalone financials in any way.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Next question is from the line of Anirudh, an individual investor. Please go ahead. Anirudh, may I request you to unmute your line from your side and go ahead with your question?
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. I have a couple of questions to the management of Nava Bharat Ventures. Firstly, would you be able to tell us the outlook and guidance for the power sector in India, considering that now we have NBEIL and the Odisha units not being run to their optimum capacity? The second question is on the asset sale relating to land parcel in Hyderabad, Samalkot, and Dharmavaram. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Anirudh. So with respect to the power sector, unfortunately, what we have experienced in the last few months and the last quarter, due to COVID was extremely low demand and that resulted in very low exchange prices. I think our game plan for our IPPs, both in Orissa and in Telangana, the 150 in Telangana and the 60 megawatts in Orissa, is to get into long-term power offtake agreements with large companies and industries, so that we can kind of sustain an ongoing operations for both these IPPs, rather than just solely be dependent on the exchange prices. But I think, as we kind of go along, we are hoping that now that, lockdowns are easing and so on, that the demand is going to pick up, and also the exchange prices in the next few months should move upwards. In terms of the asset sale, I'll first talk about Samalkot since you mentioned that. I think, as Mr. J.R.K. Prasad said, we are selling the equipment item-wise. Initially, we were looking at a bulk sale, but that didn't work out because the buyer did not meet his obligations. So we decided to go and sell the equipment on a piecemeal basis. So that's what we've done. And in terms of doing that, the cash flow realizations are on the expected lines, and that's an ongoing process. And apart from the asset sale, if you look at the Samalkot land, it's about 100 acres. And what we have managed to do is convert 45 acres for mixed use, which basically means non-industrial use. And we're looking at monetizing that area through certain developments. Nacharam in Hyderabad, that's about 65 acres. Currently, the ULC matter was an issue, and the hearing for that, which is in court, is at a very advanced stage. We were anticipating the hearing to end and the verdict in August, but unfortunately, due to COVID, all the courts have also, the schedules have been postponed. So we hope that will resume quickly, and hope we get the verdict on that. Once that takes place, then we can really look at monetizing that chunk of land, where valuations are pretty good.
Thank you. Thanks for answering my queries in a very comprehensive manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Dharmesh from QG. Please go ahead.
Yeah, very good morning again. Sir, we are a diversified company and now currently functioning in Malaysia also. So Malaysia, we have healthcare businesses. So I would like to know that in the current condition, the demanding industries are mostly retail and IT. So is there any planning to launch any new concept somewhere in the world regarding retail and IT?
I think, Mr. Dharmesh, right now we have nothing in the books, but we're always as a company exploring new opportunities apart from growing our existing verticals. So we definitely have our eyes open in terms of what is new and what has good potential for the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Harsh from BAM Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So, sir, just one additional question. Are you thinking of expanding the ferroalloys business given the strong outlook?
Mr. Harsh, as you rightly pointed out, I think from a demand perspective, we are seeing a huge expansion in the steel sector. Particularly those companies we are also catering to, they're essentially doubling their capacity. So from a demand perspective, there is a definite case for expansion. However, what we are looking at right now is from a supply point of view also. We are currently dependent on outside suppliers for our manganese ore. So we are looking at backward integration where we're able to benefit from a good cost advantage. And from that perspective, we are exploring different avenues in Africa and other places where we plan to acquire our own manganese ore mine. I think there has been some significant traction in this aspect. Once that does come to a conclusion, we would definitely look at it in a more meaningful way.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. That answers my question.
Thank you very much. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. As there are no further questions, I will now hand the conference over to Mr. Mohit Kumar for closing comments.
Thank you all for participating in the earnings call. Thanks to the Nava Bharat management for giving us an opportunity to host the call. So do you have any closing remarks before you close?
Yeah. Thank you very much for all the participants on the call. I hope we've addressed all the queries adequately, or if there are any questions or clarifications that remain unanswered, please get back to us. And we'd be more than happy to provide answers on a wider investor platform. Thank you all once again, and please stay safe. Thanks.
Thank you very much. On behalf of DAM Capital Advisors Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines.